Welcome to the stream, everyone. It's Tokyo Game Show 2025, and Dragon Quest VII Reimagined is having a presentation starting in just a few minutes, and I'm pretty excited for this. So yeah, they just announced Dragon Quest VII Reimagined a few weeks ago. I already shared my thoughts on the announcement with everyone, and they're going to be doing this huge showcase tonight for both DQ7 Reimagined and for DQ1 and 2 HD2D Remake later on. So a few hours after this is over, there's going to be another sort of presentation for Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD2D Remake, and we'll be reacting to that as well. That will be a separate VOD, so a few hours after this is done, check for the other stream as well, and we'll be checking that out as well. So that'll be fun. It's a big night of Dragon Quest news and Dragon Quest goodness. There's so much cool stuff they've been showing off here at Tokyo Game Show. We saw the dolls for old characters that they scanned into the game. They're showcasing them. There was a lot of Dragon Quest 1 and 2 stuff, like some kind of photo thing with the Dragon Lord. A lot of cool stuff. I'm pretty excited. We haven't had a big event like this in a while, and it's not just one Dragon Quest game, it's two in the same night. So after this is over, make sure to join me again in a few hours for Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD2D Remake reaction. We're going to be doing that as well. And it is a separate link. It's going to be a separate VOD. So, you know where to find that. It's in the live section of the channel. But yeah, I can't wait to see what they show off tonight for Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. I'm really, really excited. And it's starting in just about 5 minutes, a little over 5 minutes from now. So hopefully we'll see something really cool. Anyway, as always, any questions, any comments, I'm going to be reading the chat, and we'll have a good stream tonight. Alright, so someone's asking if Hori confirmed the 456 remake. He didn't deconfirm it. That's basically what happened. Torishima asked him, bluntly in their last podcast, hey, when's 4, 5, and 6 coming out? And Hori was kind of saying something like, not yet, 7 comes first. So that kind of strongly implies that 4, 5, and 6 is coming out. But I'm reluctant to say that's happening for sure until he for sure says that it's happening. But I fully expect it to happen at some point. I'm thinking maybe after 7's done, they'll work on 4. I don't know if it's going to be like a trilogy pack. I think they're going to do it one at a time, so probably it's going to be 4 next, but yeah, that's what's going on. I think 8's going to get a remake. I really do think 8's going to get a remake eventually. I feel like it makes the most sense for 8 to get a remake just because of how popular it is. They definitely are going to remake 8. I mean, that's such a no-brainer. If 8 got remade, that would be a huge announcement. That would be massive. You know how much hype would be behind an 8 remake? I am convinced that they're remaking the whole franchise, though. I'm fully convinced that they're going to try to get every single game on modern platforms, on modern storefronts. Essentially, that's their plan right now, if you ask me. Because, like I said before, them remaking 7 means they're remaking the whole franchise at this point. I really do think that's what's going to happen. Yep, and the VOD will be up tomorrow if anyone wants to watch it, of course. Let's make sure we got the subtitles on. Looks like subtitles. We might have to ad-lib it a little bit. We have to. We'll see. We'll see what the deal is. I don't know about 10. I feel like 10 is a tough one because that game's already way into its life. We've been getting it so late compared to Japan at this point. They're already on version 7 or something like that. But I think every other game will get. I do think they'll remake 9 at some point. It makes a lot of sense. I feel like if they'll reimagine 7 into a user-friendly version, they'll reimagine 9 somehow. In fact, I think a multiplayer, an online multiplayer version of 9 would really kick ass. I feel like that's something they could do that would work. I think it's definitely possible. But my biggest prediction is that they're going to announce 12 after 7 is released. I think the next big announcement is going to be 12. They're going to be alright, you guys waited 5 years, here's 12, you guys. I think 12 is the next big announcement. So 7, 1, and 2, we'll get those remakes out of the way, and then we'll see 12. Yeah, I really do expect 12 in May, an announcement for 12 next year. I honestly think They're gonna announce 12, and I wouldn't be too surprised if 12 came out next year. I know I say this like every year. I literally say this every single year. Oh guys, 12 is gonna come out this year. I say it all the time, but I actually have a really strong feeling that we'll at least see 12 next year. Like in some form, like a trailer or something, you know? That's what I'm thinking. For sure. It just makes too much sense. It's the 40th anniversary of Dragon Quest next year. Not a lot of franchises get to celebrate their 40th anniversary. It barely ever happens. So they're going to make a huge deal about it. You know Square Enix is going to make a huge deal about it next year. Oh, it's starting. It's starting. Oh, it's the trailer. So yeah, they're just going to show the trailer for DQ7. Dude, when we reacted to this on the Nintendo Direct the other week, it was just absolutely a hype moment, you know? And yes, the entire stream is going to be in Japanese because Square Enix doesn't care about us. They don't care about us. So we'll just be watching in Japanese. Is closed captioning available? Oh, that's too bad. There's no subtitles. Let me refresh and maybe there will be subtitles. Let me just try that real quick. I'm gonna refresh the stream real quick. Nope, still no subtitles. That's too bad. If there's no subtitles, I'm wondering how we're gonna figure this out, like what they're saying.
失われた世界を取り戻す旅が始まる。冒険の道中で出会うさまざまな強敵たちと数奇な運命の数々。その先に待ち受けるのは果たして。Dragon Quest 7 Reimagined.
Yeah, I do think 7 is like the most random game for them to possibly announce. It was the most random game. That's why I think they're remaking the whole franchise, just because if they announce 7, they're gonna announce every single other game. Try to get that HD going on. Yeah, I think the hooded guy's also Kiefer. I'm gonna try one more time to try to get the subtitles going, the closed captioning. Just refreshing.
どうも皆さんこんにちは。うわすごい人一般で始まってますね。ここからはですね、ドラゴンクエスト7リイマジンド TGS2025 スペシャルステージ始めてまいります。このステージの MC を担当するアナウンサーの田口翔です。どうぞよろしくお願いいたします。
Yeah, 7 is confirmed to have voice acting.
早速ではありますが、一緒にステージ盛り上げてくださる方々お呼びいたしましょう。ドラゴンクエストの生みの親堀井裕二さん、タレントの丹生あかりさん、そして本作プロデューサーの石川武さんです。拍手をお迎えください。ということで
There's Yuji Horii.
ものすごいですね、堀井さん。
すごいですね、これね。めちゃめちゃいいですね。
いやーもう、今年も一般で始まったなという感じですが、堀さん改めて簡単に自己紹介をお願いしても。
どうもドラゴンクエストゲームデザイナーの堀井裕二です。今日はよろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いいたします。続きましては本作プロデューサーの市川さんです。
はい、ドラゴンクエスト7リイマジン
I thought it might be Shark Guy, but it's probably Kiefer,
は
honestly.
い、やや早口ですが
すごく緊張しています
プロデューサーの市川さんがねステージに立つのが初めてということで、皆さん改めて温かい拍手で
お願いいたします。
お迎えいただければと思います。頑張ってまいりましょう。そしてゲーム大好きなスペシャルゲストとしてお越しいただきました丹生さんです。
よろしくお願いします。もう今回みんなが大好きなドラゴンクエストのステージに出させていただけてとっても嬉しいです。今日は新情報だったりとかプレイもあるので皆さんと一緒に楽しんでいけたらなと思いますので最後までよろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いいたします。 さあということで、まずはですね、じゃあお席につきながら進めてまいりたいと思いますが、本当に先日の発売決定アナウンスメントにね、驚かれた方々がたくさんいらっしゃると思いますし、今ねトレーラーも流れましたけれども、ニブさん、映像をご覧になって改めていかがでしょう？
もうめちゃくちゃキャラクターが可愛すぎて、あとなんか質感がすごいチュルチュルもう
チュルチュルね。
I'm looking into ways to kind of translate this
ト
live.
レーラーからなんかもうワクワクが止まらなかったです。
堀井さんも、あの情報を初めて出せた時の皆さんの驚きなんていうのは伝わってましたか？
そうですね、ポストしたんですけども、なんと560万ビューついてまして、いやそんなになったんだと思ってびっくりしましたね。560万とんでもなかったですよ。
今年は今これセブンリイマジンドのステージですけれども、ワンツーリメイクもあったりして、
そうなんです。
もうドラクエの年って感じでね。
そうですね。ありがたいですよ。
いろいろ情報も今日お届けしていければと思います。市川さんにも伺いましょうか。改めて今日もねいろんな情報出ますけれども、今どんなお気持ちですか、市川さん？
一番は緊張でございます。いろいろ新情報もご用意しておりますので、ぜひお楽しみにいただければと思っております。
はい、よろしくお願いいたします。さあということで本日のお品書きですね、このようになっております。はい、ドラゴンクエスト7リイマジンドとはから始まり、
So this is like what the
リイマジンド
schedule
をお
or?
伝えしますと、あとは皆さんからの疑問にもお答えしますし、ニブさんにですね、筆記でのゲームプレイを行っていただきたいと
させていただきます。
いうところ、最後はお知らせでの、締めということでございますが、早速ですねお話の方を伺ってまいりましょうか。あと4ヶ月ほどで発売となりますこの作品ですけれども、このタイミングでのそのリメイクの発表というのは市川さん、どういう改めて経緯だったんでしょうか？
そうですね、まず2000年にプレイステーションで発売されて、その後任天堂 3DS であったり、スマートフォンでリメイクされた本作なんですけども、たくさんの方に楽しんでいただいて、
So this is the original PS1 version of the game.
オリジナル版から発売から25年経った今だからこそ、ドラゴンクエスト7の独特な空気感っていうのを楽しんでいただきたいなと思い、今リメイクさせていただきました。
名作はもう色あせないわけで、今風にこうまた遊びやすくなったりしてね、
はい、
新しい方々にもお届けしたいということで、改めてこう石板集めだったりですとか、なんだろうな、ハッピーエンドだけではないようなねストーリーもいろいろあったセブンという作品は、堀井さんにとって振り返りますとどういう作品になるでしょう？
そうですね、セブンは僕にとってすごい思い出深い作品で、初めての CD ロムで、それまで容量をすごい気にしてて作ってたのが、もう容量気にしてていいんだと思ってすごいもう作りすぎて、でマップもね初めてぐるぐる回せるんで、これは石板隠せるなと思って、その辺でね隠したところね長すぎるとか石板が見つからないとかねいっぱい意見いただきまして、でも今回ねなんかそういうところ遊びやすくてシェイプアップしてできてるんで、結構不条理のなんかお話も多いんですけども、むしろそれが現代に合ってるかと思って、ぜひ皆さんに遊んでほしいですね。
いや配信コメントもねちょっと聞いてますけれども、やっぱ皆さんの記憶が今思い起こされているようなね感じのリアクションもいただいておりますけれども、改めましてこの本作ですね、ニブさんはセブン駆け出し勇者と、
セブンは駆け出しで5とかプレイさせていただいたことがあるんですけど、今作はちょっとまだ未経験なので、ちょっと駆け出し勇者として学んで今回プレイもお見せできたらなって思ってます。
いやもう本当に、最初に発売された年が2000年ですから、2000年以降に生まれた方にもね、改めてこう魅力を知ってほしい作品ということになりますが、改めてじゃあそういったストーリーの部分ですね、市川さんからちょっとご紹介いただければというふうに思います。
はい、それではドラゴンクエスト7についてちょっとおさらいさせていただきます。
Alright, so you guys got any more questions? Let's see.
はい、この物語は広い海にあるたった一つの島エスタード島で暮らす主人公が、親友である
Yeah, I'm working on the translation. I'm trying to figure out if there's a way, because subtitles are not available is the problem. Let me try refreshing and seeing if the subtitles will be available. I'm going to try refreshing one real quick. No, they're still not available.
で訪れた先で、いろんな問題が起きるんですけども、それぞれの問題を解決して、
Yeah, they should have had a translator. It's ridiculous. I am working on trying to get a translation going on though.
広がっていくという
Let's see.
物語になっております。
はい、まさかね本当にこうちょっと外に遊びに行くような感覚で始まったストーリーから、
Does anyone know like a good program?
隠
Or...
されていた世界の真の姿が明らかになっていくという流れになっております。
まあ本当にいろんな驚きポイントがあるゲームになっておりますけれども、このドラゴンクエスト7がこの令和の時代にね蘇るということで、リイマジンのリメイクのポイントですね、伺ってまいればと思うんですが、まずはやっぱ皆さん驚きグラフィックという部分だと思います。ステージカメラさん抜いていただきたいんですが、人形がありま
Yeah,
して
Google Translate the problem that is it only does
何でしょう
little bursts. I need something that'll just transcribe
今回は
completely.
映像もご用意しておりますので、そちらをご覧いただきながら説明したいと思います。
はい、
はい、こういった形で、鳥山先生のキャラクターデザインをどういうふうに表現していくかというのを検討していった中で、
Those dolls are pretty
ま
nice.
ずリアルの人形を制作いたしました。こういった形で布の質感であるとか肌の質感にこだわって作っております。で、こういったリアルの人形をまずそうですね、こういった形で職人さんが一彫り一彫りやっていただいて、
木彫りなんだ。
そうなんですよ。
すごい。
しかもなんか衣装の質感とかもめっちゃすごいですよね。
ね、
布の質感がすごいですよね。
うん
ね、そうそう。この
一個一個
質感
サンプルから一個一個
Oh, there's live captions.
うわー綺麗。
Hold up.
パーティーキャラについてはこういった形で全員分一体一体作っております。
いやーこれ世界に一つだけですか？
そうですね、一
うわ
体世界に一体だけです。
超レア。
でこうやって、出来上がった人形を写真撮影して、CG として落とし込んでいって、こういった形でスキャンしたものをゲーム内のゲームモデルとして落とし込んでいるという形になってます。
実物のものを CG にして落とし込むすごい技術。
Looks pretty nice. They should sell these, honestly. I think everyone wants to buy these.
いやこれはなかなかねないアプローチで、
うん
ゲームのために人形を作っちゃったと
そうですね、はい
いうところで、
なんだ
革のね質感とかもニムさん改め
そう
て、
なんか靴がすごいもう超リアルな革で、でもやっぱ職人さんの
Like the quality is very. It is like proper like Jim Henson kind of puppet.
いやーとんでもない貴重なものが目の前にあるんだって思うとすごい。これでも実際見れるんですよね、皆さん来てくださった革が。
ゲームショーの会場には、今これアルツくんが
はいはい
出張してきてくれてますけれども、
出張ね
他のメンバーもね、
うん
見られるようになってます。
の方に全員見られますので、ぜひご覧いただけると嬉しいです。
いや森井さん改めてこれ本当に今までにないアプローチ。
そうですよね。なんかすごい可愛いし、なんかこれが動くってすごい驚きですよね。
本当にねセブンにマッチした可愛らしいルックだなと
はい
いうところでありますけれども、改めてですねその他の部分シナリオ等々の部分についても市川さんからご説明いただきましょう。
そうですね、はい、ルック以外の部分に関しても全体的に、リイマジンドしておりますのでご説明させていただきます。まずはシナリオの再構築に関してです。オリジナル版は短編集のような形で楽しめるものになっていたんですけども、そのオリジナル版の魅力はそのままに、一部シナリオを任意制にしたりであるとか、物語の順序を分かりやすく順番を入れ替えたりであるとかっていう形で全体的に調整を行っています。で、その調整だけではなくてですね、まだ詳細は言えないんですけども完全新規のエピソードなんかも用意しているので続報をお楽しみ。
I feel like they did this whole thing on purpose,
い
you
や
know.
これは原作プレイ勢にとっては嬉しいね、
うん
情報であるというところでもなりますよと。で新規さんにとってはこう遊びやすくね。
そうですね、いろいろあって
参入しやすい。
楽しいシナリオだと思います。はい。考えさせるシナリオも結構多いんでね。これがこう伝わったのかとかあんまり言うとねあれなんですけど、いろいろね、そう思うことはあると思います。はい。
いや本当に子さんファンの方々たくさんいらっしゃると思いますが、新規は囲っとけいっぱいなドラクエの世界に新しい人を呼び込んでいきたいなというふうに思いますが、シナリオ以外にでもですね新しい職業システムというものもあるそうですね。
はい、そうですね。本作では冒険を進める。
Alright, let's see. You can now work multiple jobs. This is the moonlighting feature they're talking about. I am translating it using Google Translate right now.
各キャラクターごと
Burst Charge allows you to activate the special job abilities of each job.
用意しましたので
Ultimate Sword.
が光るような調
And
整を加えてい
let's
ます。
see. They're using Mage right now. I'm doing like the camera Google translation on my iPad. To try to tell you guys what's going on. But yeah, this is one of the big points of Dragon Quest Reimagined is that you can do two. It's the moonlighting feature. It lets you work two jobs at once, when the original game, you can only do one job at a time, and they're very grindy. It's over 100 people watching the stream right now. That's great.
まあ、ダーマ神殿も副業を推奨しているよと。
そうですね。時代は
ダブル
掛け持ちの時代で、はい、
いうところでございますね。はい、他にもこう遊びやすさが向上するポイントがあるということですが、
そうですね。まずセブンと言ってはおなじみのところで石板探し。
Okay, so what's this? Reimagined 3DS.
はい。
The stone plates are easier to find than the 3DS version. New menu screens, shortcut commands, and auto battle have been introduced. So yeah, the tablets are easier to find than before, is basically what they're saying right now. No, I'm using Google Translate, I'm not using ChatGPT. But yeah, they're pretty much just reiterating what they said during the announcement right now.
あ、これやっぱありがたいっていうコメントがね。
あ、本当だ、ありがたいでいっぱい。
やっぱり石板探しで苦労された方。
いや、そうか、いにしえの者たちがやっぱり言ってますけれども。
それだけではなく、メインメニューも今回デザインを変えていたりであるとか、ショートカットコマンドで一部の操作がしやすくなったりであるとか、バトルに関してはオートバトル機能っていうのを追加してサクサクプレイできるようになっているので、全体的に、プレイしやすさっていうのがすごく上がっているかなというふうに思ってます。
Alright, so what do I think about the underwater edition for Dragon Quest II? I heard about it, and like the mermaids and all that stuff. It looks pretty cool. I haven't really watched the recent DQ1 and 2 trailers, mostly because I feel like they're just showing off too much. I feel like they're just revealing too much about the game. I kind of want to be a little bit surprised when I play it. I don't know. It sounds a little silly, but that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. Yeah, I really do think that it was already easier. It was already super easy in the 3DS version. What does it say? To all your questions. Answers to all your questions. Alright. What is scenario adjustment? Is what they're saying. So they're answering about the fact that they're cutting off some of the tablets.
選択という形で調整させていただいているんですけども、調整の中で今回、クレージュ、リートルード、プロビナという3シナリオをなくしています。
おお、なるほど。
はい、この辺りはちょっと堀井さんとも相談させていただきつつ進めたんですけど、全体のテンポアップであるとか、より濃密なストーリー体験というのを目指す中で、物語の本筋とちょっと関わりが薄いかなという部分に関してはカットするという判断をさせていただいております。はい、であとまたこのスライドで映っている奥の4つの黒い石板なんですけども、これまでにあるシナリオを任意ストーリーという形に調整してまして、一度石板を開放すると物語クリアまで好きなタイミングでプレイできるという形に調整させていただきました。はい、はい、あとは、こういった形の調整だけじゃなくてですね、シナリオの追加も行っております。まだこれも詳細言えないんですけど、この辺りの新規シナリオもあるんで、ぜひぜひお楽しみにいただきたい。
一つだけ言うとですね、あんまり詳しく言えないんですけども、例えば主人公とマリベルの幼少期が入ったりとか。
なるほど。
I doubt they're gonna say which areas are cut.
ちょっと一旦止めておきたいとは思うんですが、まあ改めてこうやっぱ全体調整としてはもう遊んだ時の体験向上、
テンポ感とか全体のより本筋のところに没入できるような形に調整いたしましたので、また一味違うドラゴンクエスト7としてお楽しみいただけると嬉しいです。
もうね、ただ減らしてるわけじゃないから、新しいもの増えてるから、ここはもう遊んでいただいてね、確認いただきたいなと。
コメントもめちゃくちゃ盛り上がってる。
俺さんも言わなくていいから大丈夫。
ポロリって書かれてる。
あれだったよね。やっちゃうんだよ。
ちょっとね、まあ本当マリベルとどんなしたことだったのか楽しみではあるんですけれども、まあまだまだ質問来てますので、置いていきましょう。続いてこちらの質問です。寄り道要素どうなるのというところでございますね。ラッキーパネルしてますけれども、さあどうでしょう。
はい、こちらもお答えさせていただくと、先ほどのシナリオの調整に紐づく部分ではあるんですけども、今回は、カジノ、移民の街、モンスターパーク、世界ランキング
What will happen to the detour elements? I guess like side games is what they're talking about right now.
ミニゲームの一 一つであった、ラッキーパネルに関してはオリジナル版 3DS 版とは一味違う形で、楽しめる形に調整しております。でままたちょっと新しい完全新規の寄り道要素として闘技場というものも追加させております。追加しております。通常のバトルとはちょっと一味違う戦いを楽しめるので、ぜひ冒険の寄り道で使って活用していただければなというふうに思ってます。
カジノなくなっちゃったんですね。
そう
そうなんですよ、いろいろ理由があってね。
なるほどね。
年齢層が上がっちゃうとかいろいろあってあんま言えないですけどね、これ的にあれなんで。
そうですね。
でもその分また改めて
入って、闘技場でいろいろ勝ち進むといろんな美味しい景品がもらえるとか。
おー、なるほど。
あと
そうですね。だいぶ豪華な景品を用意しているので、ぜひやっていただければ。
またダウンロードコンテンツですね、すごい強敵と戦えるというね、
そうです。
歴代の魔王と戦えたりもするんで、
超エンドコンテンツなんかも用意していて、闘技場は
やり込み汁もグッとじゃ
で
ありますね。
ぜひぜひ。
どんな戦いが出てくるのか、ここもね楽しみにしていただきたいポイントではあるというところですね。市川さんいかがでしょうか、この辺りになりますかね。
そうですね。大きいところは今回この2つになるんですけども、引き続き情報っていうのは随時出していきますので、今後も続報をぜひチェックいただければなというふうに思います。
はい、ぜひぜひ引き続きですね、注目していただければと思うんですが、改めて言葉とスライドだけでは伝わらない部分もね、あると思いますので、やっぱ実機プレイでニブさん見ていきたいと
皆さんにお届けしましょう。
いうところでございます。で、市川さんにもねお手助けいただきながらにはなるんですが、どのあたりをプレイするかということです。
はい、今回は西風の谷というエリアをプレイしていただこうかな。
Look at the bottle. You can see the ship in a bottle, how big it is. That's a really nice little thing they got there. Alright, let's see what they got here.
新しくなった見た目であるとか、遊びやすくなったバトルをぜひご覧いただければなというふうに思います。
First look at actual gameplay. The maze of dark clouds and the Villi. So the maze of dark clouds. So they're gonna show off actual gameplay now of DQ7. Let's see it. This is gonna be cool. This is gonna be our first look at the gameplay of DQ7. Okay. What kind of controller is that? Is that a Switch controller? What is that? I've never seen that controller before. Alright. Okay, there's the room. The tablet room. And all the tablets are completed. Look at that. Except for that one.
なので今回はこの緑色の右側の石板、
緑の右側をなんかピンが出たので、
So they said they're gonna do the green one, is what they said.
行きます。うわー、光に包まれて。
The slime hori controller? I don't remember.
わーい、直してきたので。
Alright. This must be the robot place, right?
嘘。
The robot village or whatever.
まっすぐ行ってみようかな。
So these are the overworld enemies. And we got actual in-game maps, okay. The scale looks really big compared to the original. And yeah, this has got to be Switch 2 gameplay. Yeah, this is definitely Switch 2 gameplay that they're showing off.
まずモンスターがねシンボルエンカウント。
うわー、モンスターがいる。すごいついてきた。おー。
And the old battle theme's still there. Okay.
早速バトルが開始しました。戦うを押す。あー、冷たいの。うわ、
主人公以外は
AI ですね。
バッチリ頑張れになってます。
すごいもう。
So they're using magic spells. Okay, cool. And there's Aish. So
なんかモンスターの質感がリアルすぎて。
I like it. Looks very much like a diorama. It does. They look like toys. Even the monsters look like toys. Huh.
素材感を生かしたキャラクターデザインでモンスターも作ってます。
うわー、丁寧に進んでいく。
I really like the art style in this game. I think it's amazing looking. This is incredible looking.
村に入ります。
So it's very zoomed out. The perspective is another thing I'm noticing. Oh, I remember this area.
の間にできている街で。
この下だそうです。行きます。
Dude, I'm getting so excited for this game just watching this. Like, it's so hard to watch this. I just want to play it right now.
かわいい。なんか
I'm so excited for this game, dude.
かわいい主人公の。あ、誰かいるぞ。
Yeah, you can fast forward the battles. I can confirm that you can. That they've said so in a press release. So you can there's fast battling in this game as well.
え、うわ、飛んでくれた。 入り口とかも入ってみていいですか？
あ、大丈夫ですよ。こういった形で民家の教会ですね。
教会だ。
ここで普段セーブなどをできる場所になります。
So this is Aeolus Vale,
あー、教会も綺麗。こんにちは。
where all the angel people
部
live.
屋とかもあると思うんですけど、全体的にドールハウス調に、整えてます。
あ、なんか上にも行ける。
Alright, what do we got here? Smashing pots? Yep, you can smash.
ご存知ですね。
Oh, he smashes them very quickly.
買っていただいて
He just kind of picks them up and chucks it right there.
失礼します。あ、誰かいらっしゃいます。
The interiors are very nicely modeled also.
族長という
It has like that warm, sort of cozy atmosphere you expect from Dragon Quest.
わー、フィリア出てくるのかな。なんか女の子がいる。うわー、ほんとお家も綺麗。
ですね。この子がフィリアというこのシナリオのちょっと
Let's see.
女の子になって
いい
ます。
パーソンですね。
Cleaned up, can't be helped, can't fly, she's a foundling, Fila.
この羽のある種族の
I'm trying to live translate this
本
with
当だ、
my
羽が
iPad.
ない。これがもしかしたらキーですね。他にも街は散策できるのかしら。
そうですね。軽くカメラを下ろして降りつつ、
うわ
いただくとこんな感じ
Oh wow, look at the camera is pretty good too. It's like a full 3D
ー、ある。
rotating.
カニの間に橋が架けられてて
Yeah, we do have camera control.
結構綺麗です。
すっごく綺麗。
Of course, there's gonna be camera control. You know, I'm starting to think that 4, 5, and 6 might be remade in this style because of the camera control.
私が。
Because those games don't have a fixed camera like 1, 2, and 3.
お茶とか育ててますね。
Look at the little pumpkin
わー、
patch.
こんにちは。
Flower
入り口入ってる
Village.
のかな。
そうですね。
で、ちょっとこう変えて。
This just really captures the sort of vibe of the PS1 version
マップの X を
in modern day, you know.
R1 を押して国軍の迷路
Alright, village gardens. So you can zoom from just straight from the main menu right there on the left. You can just immediately zoom, and you can zoom indoors. It looks like.
してます。
あら、便利。
嘘。
オリジナル版の
Oh, they don't show the actual animation of you zooming.
プレイできると
You just leave,
あー、もう早速じゃあダンジョンに入れるんですね。
チャレンジしていただい
and you can zoom straight to the dungeon.
入っちゃった。
Yeah, the depth of field blur is a
こう
little.
いうダンジョンを攻略していただくかなというふうに思いますので、
I didn't like it in like Link's Awakening either.
はいなんかでも宝マップとか。
In fact, I feel like that game has a lot of similarities with this one. They're trying to go for the whole toy aesthetic a lot.
うわ、モンスターだ。うわー、いっぱいいる。うわ
The monsters are pretty fast as well.
ー、こうやって見えるの
Alright,
いい
let's
です
see.
ね。
あ、で、アタックしてくるのね。
あ、今回は相手が襲い
Alright,
かかってき
they attack before you can even
かもしれないです。
react.
ピンチだぞ。
あ、マリベル。
マリベルの HP が。
危ない。危ない。ああ、
よかった。
Okay, so she healed herself. Oh, what?
うわー、なんかモンスター
What do you mean by stuttering like that?
主人公が。
What's the main character's name in the
う
game?
わー、みんな回復ない。
Aris, Maribel, Gabo, Islay. That's what they're called.
わー、本当に綺麗。
And
うわ初めて
oh, Melvin's in the party also apparently. Mervin's in the party. It says in the top right corner.
これがバーストチャージという状態に今なりました。
何？先ほどの説明のバーストが来た。うわ、
こういった形で今作戦を唱え
There was a little bit of screen tearing there.
唱えてくれるんですけど
I hope that wasn't the Switch version of the game.
職業特性を発動してよりバトルを有利に進めることができます。
本当だ。
So this is her sage ability, her special sort of pet power.
動作があるんですね。
そうです。いろんな特性があって、
性が違う
I noticed also they have voice acting in battle. Is an interesting thing.
ナイス。
戦闘めちゃめちゃテンポいいですね。
ね、めっちゃテンポいい。なんかもうサクサクに戦うボタンを押したら進めました。
So this is the Switch 2 version. It doesn't look too
レ
bad.
ベルアップしました。
レベルアップもしちゃってみんな。え、ボイスも可愛い。今あおーって
そうなんです。
ガボが。
Should you open your copy of DQ7 sealed on the 3DS? No, don't open that.
言葉を言ってくれるので、
That's pretty rare nowadays.
さらにテンポが上がるので、
はい、テンポが上がるんですね。
このところでバトルスピードというところを
So they're gonna do battle speed now. Okay, they're gonna speed it up. Someone asked earlier about that, so there it is. There's the faster battle speed.
うそ。うわ、早っ。
そうなんですよ。
これ。
I do like I think the UI is a lot more user friendly than previously, because this franchise seems to never want to, change the UI. They're very stuck on the black box with the white outline. Which version of the game am I getting? I'm probably gonna get it on Steam, most likely. I like having my Dragon Quest games on PC for some reason. I feel like this game would be pretty good on Steam.
回避回避うわ
てかダッシュしてる
なんかねダッシュボタンがあるって聞いて
をしながら移動するとダッシュができるように
これが通常で
Oh, it even tells you where the treasure chests are on the map?
うまいこと横を
Isn't that, you see that, right? It tells you exactly where the treasure chests are on the mini-map.
これどっちなんだろうな
Isn't that kind of a little too
逃
easy?
げた方がいいのか
Even DQ3 HT remake didn't do that. You can see that in the little mini-map. They're showing you exactly where the treasure chests are.
運の迷路のギミックになります
I don't know about that. I think that's a little too easy, I feel like that...
はいはい
Because the game's already there making it a lot easier, you know?
見えないところを見えるようにしていきたいなという感じのギミックになってます
あなんか
Dragon Quest VIII on PS2 only had a great UI in the Western version. They didn't have the nice UI elements in the Japanese version. They only did that for us because we're a little more savvy about that kind of stuff. So if you like the sort of like fantasy kind of Elder Scrolls looking UI that Dragon Quest VIII had, that's not in the Japanese version at all.
なんかちょっと
We got that specially.
そうですね
あるんですね
男女によってはこういったギミックで謎解きをする要素も、ある男女も結構あったりします
Some good old Dragon Quest VII puzzles. This game is very well known for its puzzles, you know. It has much better puzzles than any other game in the series, I would say. And they really toned down the puzzles in the 3DS version, sadly. That's one of the things I don't like about the 3DS version. There's some treasure right there. Figure out a way to get there.
道が現れなあ
Turn it back. Okay.
来ました宝箱に
うわーこういう風に向いてるのかなって思
Now, this game was the definition of a hardcore RPG. Like, this game was difficult. It was kind of hard to figure out. It was mysterious. It was like a mystery game, pretty much. Like, I really like the sort of vibe that Dragon Quest VII was trying to put forward, you know?
やつをちょっと
Not a lot of games feel like this anymore,
次の道が出てくるかも
you know?
何
Look, Dragon Quest is more important than everything. It supersedes all.
ちょっと
That's a good explanation, I'd say.
クリアして楽しんでいただければ
うわーこれ楽しい来るか来るのか
This is a pretty easy puzzle, though, I feel like. You should see the puzzles in the original Dragon Quest VII on PS1, like the first 2 hours, those puzzles.
いやー
They're crazy.
また戻るのか
セブンはねこうギミックが多いだけが多いんですよねいろいろ仕掛けがあったりとか
うわ
Yeah, 7, you know, Yuji Horii actually took inspiration from the game Myst, if you ever played that. It's a really famous puzzle game from the 90s. He actually noticed a lot of people like that game, and he was inspired by that game to make Dragon Quest VII very, like, obscure and mysterious and have lots of puzzles and all that stuff. He changed it in the 3DS version just because modern gamers have very short attention spans, is what they found in their research. And they decided to remove all the puzzles from the beginning of the game because of that, which I think that was the biggest blunder that the 3DS version made, was removing all the puzzles, you know?
そろそろゴールっぽいここか来た
So I'm hoping at least, like, maybe they listen to some of the fans and bring some of the puzzles back. Because at least we see here they're all puzzles, right?
あーいったいった
うわなんか
クリアです
ナイトギミッククリアなんかもうこの先に怪しいと
Do I think they'll eventually remake 8 and 9? Yeah, I do. I think they'll remake 8 at least. I think 8's pretty obviously gonna get remade now, since they're remaking this. Alright, so you can save right here.
はい
In a dungeon, you can save. Interesting.
下を押してもらうこのダーマの水晶というアイテムがあるんですけどピンとくるかもしれないですけど
The Dharma
今
Crystal.
回転職がどこでもできるように
Milica, so you can change your job right here in the middle of a dungeon. You don't have to go to All Trades Abbey anymore. You can just do it right here.
今ちょっと
Okay.
見てみましょうか
はい
主人公のキャラクター選択して
That's interesting. They're really changing a lot. Like, they're really streamlining the experience a lot.
おすすめありますか
Yeah, I definitely think 9 needs the remake. 9 actually is the only Dragon Quest game that actually needs a remake. If I had to say... Because here's the thing, they could just port 8 and port 4, 5, and 6, but the 9 they couldn't just port. They actually have to remake that game from scratch. There's no way they could port that game. So I feel like 9 is the one Dragon Quest game that needs a remake. But... yeah, 8 is more likely next. Do I think they'll remake 4, 5, and 6? Yep, I do think so. People are asking what console they're playing this on. This is being played on the Switch 2, actually. This is Switch 2 gameplay. Pretty neat.
転職を行いますかはい祈りを込めお願いします
まあオズもね
So wait, you can heal in the dungeon
か
also?
ったんですよ
Or no, that was the class change. Oh, trophies. Let's see. Okay, so they got Steam trophies for some reason. No, they're not playing this on Switch. They're playing this on Steam. They're just using a Switch controller. They fooled me. Because you saw the Steam achievements that popped up in the corner? That means that this is the PC version they're playing. They're not playing it on Switch. This is not the Switch version. This is the Steam version they're playing, actually. And yeah, the Xbox... Now they have Xbox little things in the corner. You see that? They must have changed at some point to the Xbox version, or the Steam version. Yeah, this is the Steam version they're playing right now. Okay, well, that answers that question.
うわーついたで
So, armor and... not armor, but equipment at least appears on the character. I noticed that when you change this to different classes, their costumes don't change like the 3DS version. I did like that feature a lot. I thought that was a very good feature. Alright, boss time.
うわー
Let's
いるぞ
go.
今回この闇の魔人という
ーはい
ボスキャラと戦っていただこうかな。
Alright, the Dark Cloud. Unfortunately, we can't let you go any further than this.
始まった
I love the boss theme in Dragon Quest VII. The whole soundtrack in DQ7 is really good. It's like full of bangers, you know. It's honestly a really good soundtrack. I think Sugiyama was getting better and better until 8. And actually, 9 and 10 have good soundtracks too. I think 11's soundtrack just kind of took a dive compared to the others. But 7 and 8 have really good soundtracks.
やっぱドラクエ初めての人にもめちゃめちゃ優しい。
Alright, what kind of moves we got here?
しっかりわかるしでこのまっすぐ
Battle
な
Turmeric,
拳
Maelstrom, Slash, Jump, Flying Knee Kick. Okay, some martial artist abilities he's got there.
33枚いったいい169
強い
The class system in this game is really quite something.
かわいい
It's more insane than even Dragon Quest III's class system.
うわあお魅力が上がってきたうわかわいい
So are they just gonna beat the boss right
好
now?
きですねがもう。
羊がかわいすぎる
かわいいよね
また特技とかやったのかいいのかな
And it's a genie
凄
monster.
まじい水流強いのかな
MP が追い
っていうのが出てきましたね。
ね
あ本当だ抜群っていうのが出てきた
多分これがよく聞くようなやつはこんな感じでバツさっき2倍近く。
わかりやすい
11,
これ技
my problem with 11 is that it reuses tracks from other games that were not designed for 11 scenario. Like, music that had no business being in 11 is in 11 for some reason. Like, the castle theme from Dragon Quest V is randomly there, you know, they just fill the ending with Dragon Quest III soundtrack stuff. You know, it's a little bit, feels like it's kind of lazy, just kind of rehashing a lot of old music. It is like a greatest hits soundtrack.
もう一息だ
And I get that Dragon Quest XI is supposed to be like the 30th anniversary game and all that, but
グラフィックに反映
it feels like an excuse. Felt like kind of a big excuse, you know? Because all the best music in Dragon Quest XI was all old music.
かわいいクリスタルみたいなの
Meanwhile, Dragon Quest VII has got fully original soundtrack right here. They're playing this live, right? That means that she could actually lose. She could actually get defeated,
どうだ
potentially.
一発ぐらいか
It's interesting that they're doing this and they're not doing like pre-recorded gameplay. They're actually doing this live. You would never see this kind of stuff at like the Summer Games Fest or anything like that. They always do pre-recorded gameplay.
うわかなり上がった
And yeah, the soundtrack is symphonic also. That's really nice. So they almost beat the boss. You see, and you saw that the super effective. There was a little thing above the boss's name that told them that the move was going to be super effective against it. The game actually has this game has type effectiveness now, and they actually tell you in battle whether or not your move is going to be effective against the enemy based on whatever type of move it is, which is interesting. They've never done that before in previous Dragon Quest games. That's never been done before.
ぜひぜひ皆様お楽しみください。
はい
でまあ今ねありました職業の熟練度も引き続きあるような感じで
はい。
いやー
そうですね、熟練度をマックスにすると上位の職業が解放されたりみたいなところはオリジナル版の面白さはまた引き継いでいますので、
はい
いろいろ試していただければなと思います。
はいということで改めて
That's not the whole presentation, is it? I hope there's something more.
わかりました楽しかった
It's only been 45
バ
minutes.
トルも含め めていかがでしたか、ニブさん。
もうやっぱバトルのそのスピードも選べるのも楽しかったですし、でも何よりもなんか街のなんかすごく私ジオラマが大好きで、ジオラマ感が楽しめるのが、映像もバトルも全部楽しくて、やっぱみんなやりやすいんじゃないのかなって思いました。
やっぱり本当に人形を作った意味がものすごくあるというか、
もう出てましたね。
可愛らしい感じ。
キャラクターたちが。
堀井さんも改めてこうプレイする映像ですね。
そうですね。
消しましたが、
みんな見てもらったように本当街もキャラクターも可愛くて、でね初めてですドラゴンクエスト。
はい。
ですよね。
でも初めて。
初めてもちゃんと遊べるように、だんだん感覚的に分かるというね。
Look at the eggplant plushie.
分かりやすくしてあるんで、初めてとして全然遊べるかなと思いますね。はい。
本当に初めて触るドラゴンクエストとしてぴったりかもね。
そうですね。
確かに参入にぴったりかも。
ワンツーになりますけどね。
そうですね、もちろん。
そうですね。
そして石川さん、これ難易度調整みたいなものはできたりするんですか？
そうですね。スイート1、2からあるんですけども、優しい、普通、難しい3段階あるのと、今回はより細かく敵の
So I don't know how long this is gonna be, but there is another stream after this for 1 and 2 remake. They're gonna be streaming the 1 and 2 remake presentation in a few hours, and we're streaming that tonight as well. So at about 1:30 a.m. Central Time, they're gonna be doing Dragon Quest 1 and 2 presentation at Tokyo Game Show. So it's like 2 different Dragon Quest things are showing off in one night, and that's a separate VOD we're doing.
さあということでね、実機プレイも公開できた。
Dude, I'm getting the collector's edition for this. I am definitely getting that collector's edition. I want that ship in a bottle so badly. That is like one of the coolest collector's editions I've ever seen. I think it's actually like a good one compared to 3. 3's collector's edition was honestly it sucked. It was really bad. I feel like this one's good though. You got the little Dragon Quest 8. So on the left right there, that ring, right, the agility ring. You get that if you transfer 1 and 2 HD2D remake save file over. This game will read your. If you buy 1 and 2 HD2D remake 7 reimagined, you'll actually get that agility ring as a bonus. It'll read your data. So there is some kind of link between 7 reimagined and the 1 and 2 HD2D remake, according to them, which is interesting because a lot of people do think that 7 is a sequel to 2. That's quite a big fan theory that 7 might be a sequel to Dragon Quest 2. Never been confirmed yet, but it would be cool if they did confirm it, you know? And of course this collector's edition right here looks really cool, and I definitely want to get that. So these are all the little deluxe editions they got. So there's the bottle. That bottle, right? That's cool. That's honestly cool. I like that. Like, it's a nice little thing. You can put that in. You can put that on your shelf. Like, that's actually a good bonus, you know. What they really need to sell is the figure of the main character. I would buy that. That's actually a cool thing to have, but I feel like they would never sell something like that.
8時間前からゲームを先行してプレイできるアーリーアクセス券が付属します。こちら全プラットフォーム対象となりますので、一足先に冒険を進めてみたい方はぜひぜひこちら申し込んでいただければと思います。その他ですね、店舗別の特典と
So what are these, the monster seals? These are the different store exclusives. So if you buy it from the Square Enix eShop, the eStore, you'll get that little pin of the slime with the tablet. I think that's a pretty cool bonus to get, you know, the pin. So what do we got here? Lucky Pendant, Seed of Magic. If you buy it at the Square Enix store, there's also an official guidebook, which are showing off here. But I feel like the game is going to be so easy that you won't need a guidebook. And they are doing early access too. They're doing 48-hour early access if you buy that special deluxe edition of the game. Yeah, it's kind of a scummy practice that every single company is doing nowadays, and now they're doing it for Dragon Quest, so it's like you can get Dragon Quest 7 early, and everyone's going to want to do that, right? What are these? Ooh, some merch. They've got the wooden crest, the metallic dive sticker, pass case. That's a nice little lanyard they got, and the mug. Dude, I need that mug. The Dragon Quest 7 mug. Are you kidding me? Yeah, I need that. I'm definitely gonna get that. Okay, we got some rubber stamps here of all the different bosses. And you can buy these at the candy store. At candy stores nationwide with gummy candy. So these come with candy apparently.
ックして可愛いよね。触り心地もいいんですよ。
I need the mug though. I definitely need the mug.
いろいろいらっしゃるよう
The mug is super nice.
ありますけれども
Oh yeah, and the Dragon Quest manga did just come out this week, didn't it? I was so distracted that I didn't even realize that the Mark of Erdrick came out in English this week. That's pretty cool.
ビッグサイズなラバーマスコットとなります。全15種類のモンスターが収録されていて価格は税込みで385円となっています。
I always find these rubber straps to be kind of too big to carry on your keys or anything.
情報はバンダイキャンディのホームページご確認いただければというふうに思います。よろしくお願いいたします。そしてですね、最後にドラゴンクエストブランドの新規コラボのお知らせということですね。こちらです。ジェラードピケエンカウンター
Gelato.
クエストということでドラゴンクエストとジェラート
Gelato Peak's first collaboration, Monsters with Sleeping Faces, Soothing Collection offers loungewear and merchandise can only be found here. So this is like Dragon Quest loungewear, I guess, like pajamas. This is like their clothing line they're trying to sell for Dragon Quest.
実物があるということでちょっとですねご覧いただきましょうか。スタッフさん持ってきてください。よろしくお願いします。
いっぱいありますね。
ハンガーラック
Okay, so those are the pajamas. Alright.
これはね、皆さん欲しいと思いますよ。
Dude, they're really just shilling their merch. Is that a slime bathrobe? No way. And look at the little plushies too. That
ジェラピケとのコラボということだそうでして。
and the Platypunk. Alright, they're gonna show these off now.
い
Let's
かが
see.
ですか、ニブさんちょっと手に取って
ね
みて。
え、もうなんかパジャマもそうですけど、
I like the platy
クッ
punk.
ションとかもめっちゃ可愛い。
ね、もうもんじゃだ、可愛い。大きいですね。しかも
And
ね
the book.
ね
こういうあ
今堀井さんが手に取ってくれてる。これが
Yeah, look at the bathrobe. The Dragon Quest bathrobe.
ジェラピケのものめちゃめちゃ喜んでらっしゃいますね。お客さんがめちゃめちゃ喜んでいるんですが。
これ着たいですよね。なんか
ね
ね。
ちょっとじゃあせっか
あ、じゃあはいはい。
く着てみるとどんな感じなの。ニブさんもせっかくですから。
Let's see the Platypunk hood. I need to see that.
なんかキッズのものとかも
あ、ねだ親子で着られたりも。
可愛いですよね。全部ね。
ボタンが可愛い。
本当だ、モーモンだ。
あ、ちょっとキッズは着れないので、あ、このスライム、スライム。
あ
Okay, slime
青
hoodie.
で
わ
Oh yeah, definitely need to get that for sure. Look at that,
ー、
dude.
ちょっとトップスの方。
はい、ぜひぜひお召し
It comes with the shorts even. Dude, Platypunk is one of my favorite designs for monsters in Dragon Quest.
で、ユニセックスの方は羽織ってみると
はいはい。
いいですね。
こういった形のもの。
可愛い。
可愛い
This is like a designer brand, by the way. I bet you that these each cost like $100 or something.
ジェラピケって感じ。
部屋着にちょうどいいみたいな。
もう俺ぐっすり眠れます。
コンビニぐらい行けますよこれね。
ねえ、いや本当です。
全然近所のコンビニ行ってくださいこれで。
スライムの方もめちゃめちゃ可愛いですよ。
ライブ
スライムもファスナーが
ええ
寝てるスライムなのも可愛いですし、多分後ろもこんな感じになっており
フード
ます。
がスライムの顔になってます。
え
フードスライム。ああ、可愛い。もう着心地もいいし最高です。こんな感じになっております。
ね
可愛い。
え。市川さんが今手に持たれてらっしゃるのは
ハンドタオルとヘアピンですね。
もう上
ヘアピンもある
There's
んだ。
towels
メイ
too.
クするときとかね、ヘアピン使うので、もう女の子めっちゃ嬉しい。
スライムとドラキーとあれかな、
ももんじゃ。
モモンジャが、
ん
立体になってます。
みんな寝てる。すやすや。
やすやですね、本当に。
あ、ふわふわです、ふわふわ。触り心地も。
ねえ。で、堀井さんの
これも可愛いですよね。このセットも。この寝てるセット。
ポーチにな
寝
っててるのかな。
るんですよね。
魔物の群れが
Kinda like those.
全員眠っているという。
あとね、こっちもなかなかいいんですよ。スライム寝てるスライムとこれね、抱いて寝れるここに実は手が入るんですよね。
あら、
あ
抱いて寝れるみたいな。
あ、抱いて寝るようなんだそれ。
最高。
もうね
安心するわ。
堀さん、その冒険の書みたいのは何？
これなんですかね。
これはね、ティッシュケースです。
あ
バッグの形が違うんですよね。これ
So the tissue case,
これ
yeah.
入ってる。
え
不安なティッシュケースです。
うんうんうん。
もうこれで
Dude, the merch push is longer than the game preview. I feel like they're spending more time talking about the stuff rather than the game.
いや、これ本当に可愛い仕上がりになってます。
はい
改めて私の方ね、後ろドラキーみたいになってるのかな。
はい。ドラキはい。
ボタンもねこういう風にスライムドラキももんちゃんみたいな
ボタンもいいですよこれね。
ね
ボタン可愛すぎる。
こだわって作ら
I
れ
have a
て
feeling the 1 and 2
と
preview is gonna be a lot more eventful. Like they're gonna show off more
ぜひで
stuff.
すね本当にこれもうぐっすり眠ること間違いなしですから
着心地もいいし、
お手に取っていただければなというところでございます。改めましてですね、発売日等のお知らせなんですが、
はい
9月30日お昼12時にですね特設ページがオープンということになります。その翌週10月8日がこのコラボショー
Do I think they'll redo DQ9? Yep, I do.
早いですよね。
I do think so. What is this? Alright, let's see. Online store. They're just pushing their designer brand clothes. I remember when they did the same thing with Granif. I actually bought some of those clothes. I bought the hats and I bought some of the shirts. Those are expensive too. Dude, Dragon Quest is one of the most consumerist franchises out there. They're almost as bad as Pokemon, okay? I had to get rid of all my Dragon Quest merch just because I had too much of it. They really love pushing merch more than they love pushing the games. I'm gonna be real with you.
いうことだそうです。詳細はですね来週火曜日に公開となる特設サイトぜひぜひご確認いただければというふうに思います。
It's really bad, I feel like. I feel like Dragon Quest is really bad when it comes to like the excessive amount of merchandise that they are always trying to push onto people. But hey, this man's he's gotta eat also, you know?
改めて本当にもうコスプレしてる方々もいらっしゃる
DQ action figures
次の回
announcement.
ジェレプ切るんじゃないかな。
They had those Brain Arts action figures,
いただ
but
ければなというところでございます。
not much more than
と
that.
いうことで、ね、告知もたっぷりさせていただきました。改めましてですね、ドラゴンクエスト7リイマジンドがもういよいよ、情報もこれからもどんどん出ていきます。発売まで4ヶ月迫ってきたというところであります。メッセージをですね、皆様から頂戴できればと思うんですが、ニブさん。
はい。
Oh, dude, I had so much Dragon Quest merch.
本当に初めてセブン触らせていただいたんですけど、すごい初心者な私にもとってもすごく遊びやすくなっていますし、もうゲームもしやすいし、映像もとっても綺麗で制作者の皆さんがすごいこだわりを持って作られているっていうのをすごく遊んで感じて、もう今日はとっても楽しかったです。ありがとうございます。
本当に見事なプレイ実況も
I was hoping there'd be more details about 7 too.
いただきました。
I don't know.
クリアしたというところでございます。ありがとうございました。ニブさん。
Will I be archiving the stream so you can watch it? Both parts of the stream are going to be archived as VODs. They'll be on the channel. They won't be hidden or anything. You can just watch them just like that. But basically 1 and 2 is going to be, they're going to be showing off 1 and 2 at about 1:30 a.m. Central Time. So in like 3 hours they're going to be doing the 1 and 2 presentation, and we're going to be streaming that as well, but it's going to be a separate stream. So after this is over, I'm going to probably go get some food, and then we're going to stream 1 and 2 in a few hours, and hopefully they don't spend all this time on merchandise for that one, because I feel like, let them get the merchandise plug out of the way right now. And then 1 and 2 presentation comes, probably they'll show something cool,
セブンあと4ヶ月で、その前にね、1と2出るんで、1と2を遊びながらこのセブンを待ってもらえれば最高ですね。皆さん楽しんでください。ありがとうございます。
どんどんドラゴンクエストの作品がね、
そうですね、はい。
出ていくわけです。
はい。いろいろ言っちゃってね、いろいろ話題になってることもあるんですけども、まあそれはそれで、はい。
いや、いろんなところに記事出てたりしますよね。
そうなんです。はい。
オルゴデミーラ説とかあります
よね。そうね。提出しちゃいましたけどね。それでもね、なんかまだっていうのがあるんで、はい。
いや、続報を。
I like those t-shirts, the crew t-shirts. I want the green shirts more than anything, honestly. Yeah, the screen tearing was from the PC version, actually. That was a slip up.
というところになっております。現在予約受付中となっておりますので、お楽しみにお待ちいただければと思います。改めて堀井さんからもありましたが、HD2D 版ドラゴンクエスト1&2のステージ
So talking about the 1 and 2 presentation in a few hours. I feel like that's going to be the big thing.
楽しみにしていただければと思います。ということで、引き続きですね、東京ゲームショウお楽しみいただければと思います。ご観覧の皆さん、配信の皆さん。
So that was about an hour for the Dragon Quest 7 presentation. It wasn't a lot. I expected a little more, but I have a feeling tonight is about 1 and 2. I think they're going to do 1 and 2 mainly. That's going to be like the main event for tonight. So yeah, that was the Tokyo Game Show's Dragon Quest 7 Reimagined presentation. I mean, it was cool. It was cool seeing the game in motion, seeing the game in action and everything. It confirmed a lot of things that we saw. So that was a Steam version they were showing off for DQ7 Reimagined. Yeah, and then we saw a lot of merchandise that they were trying to push onto us, which was fun as well. You guys got any questions? I'll answer questions for a few minutes before we take a break, because they are going to be showing off 1 and 2 H2D Remake in about 3 hours. Yep, in 3 hours they will be doing 1 and 2 H2D Remake, and that will be a separate VOD, because I want the VODs to be separate. So 7 Reimagined is this VOD, and then actually let me post a link to the VOD, the other one, so that you guys can add that to your thing. So I'll post it in the chat. Ask me questions while we're here so I can answer, because that's why we're here. Hold up. Let's see, how do I feel about the word reimagined? So I think the word reimagine is extremely telling. It kind of just says that, here, I'm posting a link in the chat as well. The word 7 Reimagined basically means that this game is not just a remake. They're changing the game fundamentally from the ground up and trying to turn it into something else. They're shuffling things around, and they're shuffling things around. They're making things different. They're making different scenarios in different orders, or removing things outright. They're doing a lot of things like that, essentially. So that's why it's called Reimagined, And also they call it Reimagined. Hori said they call it that because apparently the West has a problem with their game's original title, Dragon Quest VII Warriors of Eden, because of the religious connotations. Hori said that in his recent podcast, that the reason why they changed the name in the West was because they don't want to put out a game called Warriors of Eden. Even though Dragon Quest VII is a game with a lot of biblical sort of parallels, apparently that was like some kind of problem that Square Enix had with the localization, which is why they changed it. Fragments of the Forgotten Past, I guess that's why they changed it to that. I always thought Warriors of Eden sounded like a really badass title. I always thought that was a really cool title, but they have these reasons for changing the titles to the dumbest things. Like I think like a lot of Dragon Quest titles in the West are really stupid sounding, like Seeds of Salvation, and you gotta admit that they're not like the best. Let's see what else we get. What else are you guys asking? What happened to 12? 12's probably gonna get announced pretty soon. It's got a very troubled development cycle. There's a new producer. The old producer got left the company, so the producer for the Nier series, Yosuke Sato, he's the new producer for Dragon Quest 12. So there's like different changes in leadership going on at Square Enix. There's the whole pandemic thing going on, which halted the development. So there's like been a lot of issues with 12's development. I'm pretty sure they're going to show it off next year. I'm fairly certain they're going to show it off. Let's see. 2 has a new final boss and ending with how they're doing the trilogy. Maybe. I'm not sure exactly. DQ1 and 2. DQ1 and 2 looks really different. Like, it looks really, really different. So much that I saw the recent trailer, the gameplay reveal that they did. And apparently the intro of the game, you don't start off in the king's room in Tantegel. You start off in, like, the woods, and, like, the main character has, like, a party of his own and stuff. I didn't want to watch too much because I felt like they were giving away too much of the game, They don't understand that. I think fans want to be surprised, and they really show off too much of these games whenever they do presentations, like this. Do I think they'll release DLC for this game? Yeah, they're already confirmed that they're doing new DLC. They confirmed that they're doing DLC for the Dragon Lord, Malroth, and Zoma as boss fights in the arena. They're doing DLC for 7 Reimagined. It's already confirmed, for sure. So they might do more, Will we get a key visual with just illustration by Toriyama Bird Studio for DQ7 Reimagined? I don't think so. I don't think they're going to do any art for Toriyama-style art for DQ7. I think, because so far we haven't seen any art that's in Toriyama style at all for this game. All we've seen are just 3D renders of the characters and the dolls. So I think they're really just going for the whole doll thing for this game. That's what I think is going on. So I think they're just going for the whole doll aesthetic for this game, and they're not trying to show off any kind of Toriyama-esque art like the HD2D remakes, Who's the director for 12? It's probably, what was his name? Okamoto? That was his name, right? Yeah, he's the director for 11. It's the same. Whoever the director for 11 was is the same director for 12, basically. Am I enjoying the Trails remake? You know what? I actually am enjoying that game quite a bit. I think it's actually very good. I'm trying to get through it right now, but I got that on PS5, and it really gives me those DQ vibes, kind of the Trails in the Sky remake. It's one of the best remakes I've played, honestly. It runs really well as well. That's a good game. When do I think 4 will be released? 4 could get announced. It could be released as early as next year, and maybe as late as the year after. I think either late 2026 or 2027 is possible. If it depends on if they announce 12 for 2026, because if 12 gets announced in May for a 2026 fall release, then we're not seeing 4 around that time. They always space the releases out a bit. But if it doesn't get announced, or if 12's come out in 2027, then I could see 4 coming out in fall 2026. I could see that happening. Let's see. Hold up. People are asking about the Dragon Quest director. Yuji Horii is not the director. Yuji Horii is the scenario writer and the designer. He hasn't directed the games, though. Yeah, there's a lot of people involved with these games. Alright, let's see. Actually, no, the producer is Okamoto. Uchikawa is the director. Got that mixed up. Let's see, recap what was cut. Just, we know that there's a lot of tablets that are getting cut from the game, and there's also jobs that are being cut. And stuff's also being shuffled around, so some of the tablets are going to be out of order also, because they think that some orders are better as well, essentially. Do I think the style for 7 is a test? You know what, I hope not, because I think, 8 would not work in this style, in this puppet style, this doll style. I don't think 8 would work in this reimagined style at all. I feel like 8 has to be, 8 has to look like an anime. It has to look like a moving anime, because that's what 8 is. 8 is like an anime that you're playing. That was the whole appeal for 8 for me. So if they remake 8 in this style, I actually will be disappointed. I actually would not like that. I think this style works for 7, because 7 always kind of was going for that whole sort of stop motion kind of, classic Christmas movie kind of vibe. I think this style might work for 9. Possibly. I think the style might work for 9, but for 8, I don't think the style would work at all. I feel like, when you make 8, it has to have a bright, cartoony kind of anime look to it. So I think the style works really well for 7 specifically, because 7 is just such a weird game, Yeah, Takeshi Uchikawa is the name of the director. I can't remember whether or not, because I remember a couple years ago I won a prize from Square Enix. They had a contest, and I think it was Uchikawa or Okamoto who made a comment on my submission. Let me try to find it real quick. Hold on a second. I'm gonna try to find it, because that was a cool little thing that happened a while ago. But yeah, I won a contest for Dragon Quest, and here we go. Oh no, it was Okamoto who commented on my submission. He was the one who commented, because you could either get one of them to comment on your submission, and there's 2 different people in the United States who were able to win the contest. One person was chosen by the director of Dragon Quest XI, and the other person was chosen by the producer of Dragon Quest XI. So the producer of Dragon Quest XI chose me for the contest because of a meme I posted, which is funny. So Okamoto commented on my thing. It wasn't Uchikawa. But Okamoto is still the producer. I think he's not the producer anymore, right? I think he's done. But anyway, so yeah, let's see what else we got. But yeah, 8 cannot look like this, is what I was saying. I was saying that 8 should not look like this. I think it would be wrong for 8 to look like this. I think 8 needs to look like an anime. It absolutely needs to look like an anime, for sure, I don't know how they're going to do it, but level 5 was they really got good at making these anime looking games with the cel shaded art style. I think they can go even further with that, Yeah, they've done this. They've tried with this whole stop motion thing before, and what people don't realize is this is a very kind of DQ sort of look, like a 90s DQ look. They were trying to go for this back in the 90s, the cover arts look kind of like this, the cover art for DQ1 and Dragon Quest 1 and 2 on the Game Boy look kind of like this in the West, and this they were trying to go for this, but they never pulled it off quite. That's the thing. Yeah. I was saying 8 should look kind of like Ni no Kuni is what I've always thought. Like it should look like an anime. It should look like a cartoon that's moving that you can play. That's what 8 should look like. It shouldn't look like a diorama. It wouldn't work. It wouldn't work at all. But yeah, the neighbor Suikoden is looking more promising. Well, Suikoden is pretty good. I always recommend that as well. DQ7 Reimagined is going for the Dragon Quest Your Story look. I do get the Your Story vibes, especially from this picture and some of the pre-rendered cutscenes. They look like a movie. This looks almost like an animated movie, kind of. This honestly, this does look like a lot like it could be a movie. Some of the cutscenes that we've seen, they have that sort of vibe, you know? But yeah, what I've always wanted to see is just a Dragon Quest game that has a very strong, cel-shaded, anime-looking style that just looks animated, you know? That would be sick, I feel like. That I think would be pretty cool. Let's see. And people are asking about DQ12 and all that. Yep. Alright, so that was a pretty cool look at the Dragon Quest VII Reimagined Tokyo Game Show presentation. I'm just letting you guys know that in about 3 hours, they will be showing off Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD2D Remake live at Tokyo Game Show, and I do have another VOD for that. So we're going to be doing that another stream for that in 3 hours and live reacting to the Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD2D thing. And I'll try to see what I can do about the translation, because it kind of sucks that they didn't provide translation for this. I think it's really crappy that they didn't provide translation for this, you know? There's a lot of Western fans who wanted to watch this, and we couldn't understand what they were saying. I had to use Google Translate the whole time, which I think is really shitty, honestly. And Square Enix just does not give a shit about their Western Dragon Quest fans. It really sucks, man. It really sucks. We've had to do this so many times. We had to do this years ago. Like, every year for the Dragon Quest Day, they always do this kind of thing, you know? They always do this kind of thing. But it's fine. I think we enjoyed it regardless. It was pretty enjoyable. So yeah, in 3 hours they'll be doing the 1 and 2 stream, and I feel like that 1 and 2 stream is gonna have a lot to unpack. You know, a lot of good stuff. I've been kind of avoiding the trailers they've been showing off just because I wanted to wait for Tokyo Game Show just to see what was going on. So here I'm gonna be posting the link in chat right now. Make sure you just add that to your list or whatever, bookmark it for when it's time to start, so we can all watch that. Because I am going to probably take a break and get some food and fuel up, because it's gonna be a long night of Dragon Quest. I feel like, you know, it's gonna be a long Dragon Questy kind of night, and it'll be pretty fun. So I'm gonna end the stream now. I will see you guys soon. The VOD is in the chat I posted. I'll see you guys in 3 hours, and we'll live react to Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD2D Remake live at Tokyo Game Show. So I'll see you guys then.